Hey guys, my tag is Christmas is Cancelled, and in this video I want to talk about the 3 moving dots benchmarks for Sparky. These scenarios are Bounce 180, 1 wall 5 targets Pasu, and Popcorn Sparky. I have top scores in all 3 scenarios, and like always I will be sharing what I know to get a top score. As I've always recommended, if you want to get better at the main scenario, there's other scenarios you can play to practice. For these scenarios I would recommend playing the small versions as well as the invincible versions. So Bounce 180 small and Bounce 180 tracking invincible, Pasu small reload and Pasu track invincible v2, and Popcorn Sparky small and Popcorn go to tracking invincible. There's small versions of the invincible versions too if you're into that. The main focus on this video will be what I consider the main thing you need to improve upon to get better scores, which is your ability to determine when the bot is safest to hit. All of the things you usually do in static dots still apply, so you have to keep track of multiple bots, have the order you want to do them in figured out, need to have smooth and straight target switches, etc. But now there's an additional element, the viability of the bot. In Bounce 180, you want to hit each bot at the apex of the jump. Try to keep your mouse near that height so you only need to move it horizontally. You need to have the discipline to only shoot a bot once. If you miss, go for another one. When it comes to keeping track of multiple bots, what I mean is that you have to have the timing of multiple bots planned out. When you shoot a bot at the height of its jump, you should already know which bot is near its apex so you immediately go for it. In static dots, such as 1 wall 6 targets TE, you just go for the bot nearest. But that logic does not apply in moving dots. Don't sit there waiting for a bot to jump up, go for the one that's already jumped up. In 1 wall 5 targets Pasu reload, there's 2 things you need to look out for. The first thing is something that comes from knowing the movement pattern of the bots, but a bot that just strafed is a very good bot to go for. Pasu is all about reading the direction it's going in and clicking where it's going to be a moment later, but sometimes a bot strafes right when you're about to go for it, causing a miss. But if a bot just strafe, it's not going to strafe again, so you can confidently click it. Another thing I noticed in my gameplay of this scenario, as well as the other grandmasters when I was looking through their VODs, is that bots seem to be a lot easier when you go for the ones that are moving away from your crosshair. It probably shouldn't be this way, but I notice it a lot in my gameplay. When a bot is going towards my crosshair, I tend to go past it so that it's now moving away, then I flick back on. But when a bot is just moving away, I can just directly go for it. Maybe this is something we all need to work on to get even higher scores, but for now, this is something you should make note of in your gameplay. The advice I would give for Popcorn Sparky is very similar to the advice I gave for Bounce 180. I don't want to reiterate, but instead I'll add a little tidbit specifically for the scenario. I usually state the importance of smooth aim in my videos, but this cannot be understated in this scenario. This is secretly a smoothness scenario in disguise actually. Compared to Bounce 180, these bots are obviously a lot harder to hit. When you're aiming to hit a small moving bot at a specific spot, you need to be very smooth with your aim so that your crosshair goes in that tiny spot that you want it to be in. Any shakiness and you miss. When watching my gameplay, you'll notice that when I'm super smooth, I hit the shot, but when I miss, it's because I'm shaky. If you start looking out for the things that I mentioned in this video, you'll start breaking your scores. This advice isn't necessarily something that directly relates to mouse control, but with this you'll start shooting more times and more confidently, which will increase your mouse control. And that's all I have for you in this video. If you found it helpful, I would appreciate all the usual jazz. Like, subscribe, and consider checking out my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/christmasiscancelled. And if you have something you think you need to work on, leave it in the comments and it might just be the topic of the video I make next.